Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be previewing the NFC divisional matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we want to tell you about a little goal that we have of getting to 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend. We are currently sitting at around 330 last I checked. So we have about a month to do it. I think we can do it. And so if you have not already, please help us out by subscribing to this channel, liking this video, comment on this video, let us know your thoughts on who's going to win this game. Share this video with your Packers and 49ers friends. And Ryan, let's get into it. So there have been a lot of playoff games so far that have been rematches. We were just talking about it before. This would be the seventh rematch compared to only 2 times that these teams have played in the regular season. And this by far the game in week 3 between the Packers and the San Francisco 49ers was a spectacular game. If I remember correctly, Aaron Rodgers only had 30 seconds to get downfield with no timeouts and threw a laser to Davante Adams, get them into field goal range. Absolute amazing game. Both these teams have come so far. I kind of forgot, too, coming into that it's like we always figured Green Bay would make the playoffs, but we were unsure at that point about San Francisco, even though they just gave Green Bay a run for their money. And then it feels like San Francisco has just turned it on over these past 2 months, playing amazing football, coming off an upset win against Dallas Cowboys, thanks to some horrible coaching by Mike McCarthy and some amazing holds by Randy Gregory and a what the hell were you thinking decision by Dak Prescott. Yes, comment below, because we would love to hear anyone say that we are stupid, because if you do, I can speak for Ryan and myself, we disagree with you. But that being said, though, 49ers. Yes, we both picked the 49ers. That being said, 49ers are playing great football. They are going into Lambeau this time. It is going to be cold. Who knew January in Wisconsin was fucking freezing. What do the 49ers have to do to come on top of this game and pull off another upset, keep this dream season going?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the biggest thing that they have to do is they have to run the football. And kind of one of the things I think Kyle Shanahan does really well is be creative and getting the ball in his playmakers' hands without necessarily taking big risks, like getting the ball to Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and scheming these guys open against defenses. And Kyle Shanahan does that really well. But to me, I think the thing that's been really impressive has been this defense. The last couple of weeks, I think this defense has played really well. They got after the passer really well. And this defensive line is pretty banged up. They're missing a few guys, including Javon Kinlaw, who was a force on the defensive interior last year when he was a rookie. So I think this defense has to play well. They have to do a better job of disrupting, because you can't really stop, but disrupting that duo between Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams than they did in the first matchup. So making sure that connection isn't just always open, and really making Aaron Rodgers have to dish the ball around. I think they'll be able to win the line of scrimmage. I think this offensive line and the run game have not been the best for the Packers. Still been good, but nothing to really write home about. And I just think they're going to have to create turnovers, make Aaron Rodgers make a mistake, which is really, really hard to do, just to have a chance of coming out on top. Because, like you said, it's really cold in Lambeau. They've been doing this for years and years up there in Green Bay. So, sunny California, to me, it doesn't look good for the 49ers, but that's kind of what they have to do, I think, to go up there and play well. So what do you think the Packers have to do to come in here and win this game?
Well, I will say one thing. They have been having – I think the Packers are the most balanced team of any of the playoff teams. Personally, I think on the defensive side of the ball, they've really picked things up, especially compared to what they were at a year ago. And then also on the offensive side of the ball, they are both able to run the ball extremely effectively. I think, actually, so I disagree with you there a little bit. I think especially lately they have been able to run the ball extremely well with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, which has then only opened up the passing game for Aaron Rodgers. In some of
Yeah.
these games, Aaron Rodgers, he only has 220 passing yards, but it's because they're so effective running the ball that offensive line is able to move guys. And then on top of that, then when Aaron Rodgers sees what he likes, who is also he's probably the hottest quarterback right now, he's probably playing the best
Yeah.
in the arguably one of the best systems as well. And it's Aaron Rodgers as well.
Yeah.
So having him at Devontae Adams is obviously one of the best receivers. Then you have Alan Lazard, which is solid number two.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to say was I don't think that the Packers run game is bad. That's not what I was saying.
Yeah.
I just think the 49ers have been very good against the run, and I think it is something that they can take away from the Packers.
You know, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but it's not going to
Yeah.
they're not going to be going up against boneheads like Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys offense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So it's
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur is going to have a great game plan. And also on top of that, as we're saying, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's going to be able to read these defenses. And one of the biggest things, too, as well, is, and this is where we said this about the Titans and how great it is to have a first-round bye because the Bengals got a little banged up on the defensive side of the ball with some key players. Same with the 49ers as well. Joey Bosa is in the concussion protocol, and also Fred Warner did sprain Nick Bosa. My apologies. And also Fred Warner did sprain his ankle as well. So their statuses are both uncertain. I think that they potentially both can play. I believe Fred Warner, I would say, I don't know, just not knowing the concussion protocols, who knows how long these concussions can last and how strict they are on it as well, where Nick Bosa might not play. And if they lose him, that's going to be a huge loss to that defensive front and also stopping that run. Also then getting to the quarterback and getting Aaron Rodgers in that pass rush. So that being said, there's just going to be some huge question marks. And then with Green Bay having another week to rest, having home field advantage, especially knowing everything now, Green Bay is just, I think, has been the best looking team just because of how great that offense is. One of the things I will say on the 49ers side that when these two teams played last is they had not started to utilize Deebo Samuel as that gadget weapon guy as they started to in around week 10, week 11. I'm curious how that is going to how Kyle Shanahan is going to utilize him. Ever since they started doing that, this offense has taken off. It's taken a lot of strain off of the passing game. And Deebo Samuel, who is their best player, it's only the smartest thing to just keep giving him the ball and just keep giving more opportunities. Yeah. So they did not do that against the Packers. So I'm curious how that is going to work out because this Packers defense, I think that'll work out well for the 49ers because these Packers cornerbacks have been playing really well. Eric Stokes has played extremely well. And their other cornerback, who I'm blanking on his name, has also been playing solid this year. And so moving Deebo Samuel around, create matchups that benefit you. I'm curious how that's going to work out for the 49ers. But that being said, it's still going to be a tough task going into Lambeau in January to beat the Green Bay Packers.
And one of the things too in the first matchup that we haven't really talked about yet was George Kittle was pretty much a non-factor in that first matchup. He didn't really contribute. One of the things I think that Deebo Samuel does is he threatens defenses horizontally, and that really, really opens up the middle of the field and allows George Kittle to really attack the seam of some of these defenses.
Yeah. Well, that's it. What's interesting about it too is why I think the Deebo Samuel as a running back will be interesting is in that game they only ran the ball twice with Deebo Samuel, and most likely I would not be surprised if it was more on like jet sweeps instead of actually handing the ball off to him in the backfield, because the 49ers actually did not run the ball that great against this team. Trey Sermon was the leading rusher, and he only had 31 yards. So maybe as a team had 50, maybe 60 rushing yards, so to say. So I'm with this new kind of game plan that Kyle Shanahan has implemented. It's going to be really interesting because you can make an argument, especially now. You're looking at two of the great young minds. Young offensive mind and the head coaches going up against each other and seeing how they compete against each other. It is going to be a fascinating watch. This is going to be another potential primetime game. Well, there's only 4 games. And so I think we're both confident the Bills and Chiefs going to be primetime. But this would be a great primetime one as well. Kyle Shanahan versus Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a good transition here. We can quickly talk about our game picks and who we think is going to win. So who do you think is going to come out on top of this matchup?
So I just think I've been saying this now for a long time, especially once when they got over their little bumps and bruises earlier on in the year. Green Bay, I think, has just been the most consistent team. We have talked about uh, the Bills are definitely up there as well. I would think, just by having best offense with the best defense. But this Green Bay Packers defense, I think, is quietly one of the better ones in the league. Then on top of that, you have the great offense of Aaron Rodgers, that's led by Aaron Rodgers, and how well balanced they are, both passing the ball and
Yeah.
running the ball as well. I think it's just going to be too much for the 49ers, especially if Joey Bosa is banged up. Nick Bosa is banged up. And if Fred Warner is banged up, or if either one of them play, it's going to be a huge blow to this defense. Another thing as well is I just don't think that there is just enough firepower on the San Francisco side. Jimmy Garoppolo is also banged up. He sprained his shoulder, his throwing shoulder. So he is then ever
Hmm.
since with his thumb injury. We have seen him be a little bit more turnover happy. And I think that it's just eventually going to come back to bite them because, as I said,
Yeah.
when we were doing our wild card picks, the most consistent team from both conferences is going to be the one that plays in the Super Bowl. And San Francisco just has not been as consistent. And even as we saw in the second half of their wild card game against the Cowboys, Jimmy Garoppolo got a little bit errant with his throws. They were getting a little bit more careless with the ball. And I just think Green Bay we haven't seen them do that as much, or nearly as much, and they've just been solid and consistent, and did solid and consistent throughout the whole year. And I think Green Bay is going to pull this one.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be the spread's 5.5. I think they're going to cover the spread. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. I think they're going to put
Yeah.
30 points again. I think they're going to win 30-24.
Okay. See, I think Green Bay is also going to win. I just think it's going to be really tough for the San Francisco team to go up into Lambeau. Last time it was a close game. It was at home. And that was kind of at the beginning of the season when I think these teams were still figuring themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Green Bay really figured themselves out, especially in the second half of the season, becoming a more balanced offense. That defense really kind of coming together as a solid unit. So I'm going to pick Green Bay for a lot of the same reasons that you did. And I think they're gonna put up more points. I think they're gonna have a point to prove this year in the postseason with Aaron Rodgers,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of with what happened last year. So I'm gonna say 38-28, I think is the final score.
Okay. All right. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this 49ers team, and this is where I'm glad to see that there was a competent. Well, and like the Arizona was competent, but they have just absolutely fallen off the face of the earth offensively. But the 49ers are a
Yeah.
solid team, and because it was looking kind of bleak there for wild card teams in the NFC, and it was nice to see there be a little bit more depth and not to be kind of cookie cutter, where it's like all the division winners, all the clear basic cut winners from the NFC were going to just move on to the next round. Because there was a point where it was like, all right, clearly the Packers are the best team. The Cowboys are going to win their division. The Bucks are going to win their division. And then the Rams
Yeah.
and Cardinals kind of going back and forth. So there was that fifth team. But other than that, there was that point. Remember when you're looking at it, like the Falcons were the 6th seed at one point halfway through the season. Like
Yeah,
the
and like
Falcons
5
are
and
not.
6 or something.
Oh yeah, like the Falcons are not a playoff team at all.
No.
But
Yeah.
49ers got their stuff together, and I think it's going to be a great game either way, and it's going to be a solid season for them to build on.